Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the top 10 programming games. Now, when I talk about this, I'm talking about games where usually you are putting down some cards or tiles or something, and then you will reveal them one at a time, and stuff happens. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It could be programming in some other way. I really like the concept of that. Some people can find it frustrating because your best laid plans can be messed up. There's also going to be games that are adjacent to this or similar to this. And like, for example, in X-Wing, you can put down a tile. You program each of your ships to move. But I didn't count those, and it's not that big of a deal. These are just the ones that I thought would be good. I do want to give a nice shout out to the Code series. And there's a lot of different programming style games. Game Right Games has done a lot of stuff along this line, which I think is fantastic and teaches kids how to program. Those are more one-person type puzzles, but they're really cool. So here we go. These are my 10, and I actually crossed several off this list, which I'm sad about. For example, I didn't put Root on the list. Root has a specific faction who programs, but it's only one of the factions, so I didn't include it in the game. But that's a fantastic game. All right, number 10 here is Duel in the Dark. And this one's a little esoteric and this one's harder to find, but in Duel in the Dark, one of the players is the English, and they're sending a bomber to bomb Germany, and then the German player is fighting back. It sounds like a war game, but it's not. The player who's playing England is going to have to program their plane, and so they're sitting there, the plane's going to go here, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, it's going to do this. They do that whole thing. And then the German player sets up their defenses, and then you start revealing how the plane moves around, and you react to what's going on. It's a really fascinating little game. It's more of a deduction game than anything else, but it has that war theme to it. And if you ever find this one, certainly worth checking out. Number 9 is River Dragons. Now, I have the big deluxe version of River Dragons, but even the small one is a really nice one. And in River Dragons, you're simply programming and trying to build bridges to the middle and win the game. You're going to be putting out discs and putting out these planks on those discs and then moving your characters around while using dragons and things to mess the other players up. Beautiful production, family weight style game. I like it a lot. Number 8 is Space Alert. Space Alert is a cooperative programming game, and it is easily one of the most frustrating ones on the list because you are all working together, your ship's falling apart. It came with a CD, now I guess an MP3 you can also get, that you play that has things going on around in the background, and you got to quick play cards and have all the stuff programmed, but you're all doing it together. You flip the cards over and then see what happens. There are times, though, where you can't communicate with each other, and the communication systems break down. For some people, and myself is included, it's intensely fun, but do realize this one is certainly one of the most stressful ones on the list. Number 7 is Lords of Ziddit. This is one of the few Euro games on this list. It's based in the same universe as the very popular game Seasons, like this fantasy universe, and you're going to be moving around and collecting things. But again, you program what you're going to be doing each turn of the game, and so you're hoping that you're picking the right actions to take. It is a lot of fun. Number 6 is the classic. We can't do a list like this without mentioning Robo Rally. In fact, some of you are probably surprised it's not in the top 5. But Robo Rally is a fantastic game. In Robo Rally, this is the classic, you put down the 5 cards each turn, and you're going to say how your robot moves on the board. And other robots are going to mess you up. You're just trying to get to certain checkpoints. Robo Rally needs to be very much cultivated by the person running it. You need to play on a small board. You need to make sure the paths crisscross. I wouldn't play with too many players. There's a lot of caveats there. But if you do that, the game is extremely fun, although for some people it can be very stressful, again, as other people's programming can really mess you up. Number 5 is Cult Express. Cult Express, you're running a bunch of outlaws on a train, and you're all robbing the train at the same time. You're punching each other, shooting at each other, and just doing various things, and also running from the sheriff who's on the train, or the marshal who's on the train at the same time. But it's entertaining. This one is a little bit less stressful than the rest because, yeah, you can get beat up and punched and, drop your loot, but you might just grab, and sometimes the thing you do just happens to work even though you didn't expect it. Very strong thematic game. Has a 3D train that you're moving around on. It is tons of fun. Number 4 is Quad Heroes. Quad Heroes is a game that really hasn't got much buzz at all, but it is, again, very similar to Robo Rally. You're moving around not robots, but these little cube guys, these quad guys, and they roll around the board, essentially, and depending on what side they have, different things will happen. So you're picking the cards that you'll have to make these guys go around, attack each other, sometimes race. There's different scenarios. There's a lot of game in this box and absolutely phenomenal components. Really fun theme, Quad Heroes. Number 3 is one of the games that knocked Robo Rally down, and that's Volt. Volt by Emerson Matsuuchi. You have these robots on the board, and each turn you program them. Although with this one, you're not kind of dealt a hand of cards. You pick the dies, and you will pick what action each robot takes. And you have all these robots you pick. You reveal them, and then the robots will go, depending on the numbers you picked on the dice and how you move. It's a solid game, and if you thought Robo Rally is too lucky, then you should try Volt instead. Number 2 is Robot Turtles. Robot Turtles is a programming game for kids, and that's why it's so high on my list here, because I am so enamored with this game. Have been. One of my daughters, I mean, there's obviously personal reasons. One of my daughters, who has a hard time understanding many things, was able to figure out the logic in this game because it was just taught to you. It almost teaches programming, and you're moving your turtle around the board and trying to get it to different spots. So this one has very personal to me, but it is a fantastic game for kids, and that's why it's so high on my list. And number 1, Mechs vs. Minions. This game from Riot Games, which is a cooperative game in which players are all working together to fight off hordes of bad guys, but you do that by running this programming circuit. You add cards to it, and then it runs through them, and you add more cards, and it runs through it. And sometimes you don't want it to go the way it is, but you are programming your little mechs out there to walk around the board and fight, and you can get new cards and upgrade stuff. It is just absolutely fantastic. I love this game. And I love the production value of it. I love the theming of it. It's just a lot of fun, and cooperative programming is something I really like. There's not a lot of it. There's only a few games on my list have it, but this one is my favorite of the bunch. What are your favorite programming games? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.